Welcome back, everybody. I hope that you're still keeping sane during our quarantine time. I've given you a few days to work on the finger picking. I have seen some people comment on it, so I'm hoping that means that they have been putting in a little bit of time towards this, because it really is a useful tool to have, and it's pretty fun once you get going. So just a reminder of what we did last time. I'm going to do a quick review over the important points. The important points that we talked about. The thumb takes care of everything on these top three strings right here. The second finger handles the bottom two, and then your first finger always handles this right now. My pinky here on that's happening right here, that is to make sure that my wrist does not go back like this. So even though putting your pinky here is not the greatest thing in the world for your technique, it will allow you to train your hand to stay in the right position, and then later on you can bring that up. Don't worry about rushing that right now. I really don't want to see it's fine. We'll be able to, it'll be an easy fix later, as long as we're not doing this or bouncing our hand while we play. This is people have the tendency of wanting to do this or reach under the string. So making sure that the thumb's out. That was a very important thing. The thumb can't be back here. So you've got to be able to watch yourself. When we play the string, we're touching the string. That's what we call planting. And then we're playing through the string. We're not back here swiping at it. We're touching the string and then playing through it. Same thing with the fingers here. They're touching the string and then picking up into their hand. It's not reaching from under. When you hear this pop, that's not what we're doing right now. Okay? So the pattern that we worked on, the first pattern, we talked about two bass patterns. One was over the D chord where we played the fourth string, and then the fifth string, and we called that a 4-5 because we went 1, 5. Sorry, I meant 4-5. 4, 5. 4, we called that a 4-5. 4, 5. Now when we went to A, the bass changes. The bottom half, the pattern, the 2-3-2 stays the same, but we play backwards. We play 5, 4, 5. We call that a 5-4, 4. So we got 5, 4, 5, 4. So remembering that. Now, the way to remember that, and the reason why, is if you know the notes of your strings, the fourth string is a D, the fifth string is an A. So it makes sense that when we are playing a D, we start with the D note. And then when we're playing an A, it starts with the A. So that's part of the reason why we do that. So remembering that D starts on the 4 and goes 4-5, A, 5-4. Now, there's a lot. Let's talk about the 4-5 for just a second. There are a lot of different chords that fit into this 4-5 with the D, and one is the E chords, the E major, the E minor, E7, any of those kind of things. They're going to do 4-5. C's, C add 9, they're going to be 5-4s. Okay, so we're gonna. There's basically, I classify in this style of music into 3 different bass patterns. One is the 4-5. The second one is 5-4. And then the third one we're going to talk about right now, and we use this with G and sometimes our bar chords, depending. it's an option a lot of the times. But on G, we're going to start on 6. It's going to go 6, 4, 6, 4, 6, 4. Now, I'm going pretty fast on my pattern. This lesson is based on the fact that you've spent some time working on your technique and knowing what fingers play what strings, and that you're not messing around with that. Meaning, one of the big problems that I have is people just kind of making up their own rules as they go along, and they're using their first finger up here and they're using their thumb down here. And there are a lot of different styles of fingerstyle guitar, but in this particular situation, the rules that I have are to kind of, it's just a really great spot to start, okay? So don't make up your own rules. Follow the rules of the thumb handles these. This handles the bottom two, and then this only handles this for right now, okay? And remembering that, go back to D, that it's going to go 2, 3, 2 on the bottom. So we got 4, 2, 3, 2. Notice my thumb's out here. These are coming back like this. 5, 2, 3, 2. Now, that is the review of lesson 1 really, really fast. Okay? So if you're looking at me and watching this video and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so confused, go back, work on the first lesson stuff for a little bit, then come back to this. Don't rush your way through this. You got plenty of time these days. Okay? Now, lesson 2, not only adding in the bass notes to G, but we're going to add on to our pattern at the same time. So, the first half of our pattern is 2, 3, 2. And the reason I say that that's the first half, I only taught you half of it. So what we're going to do now is the second part of this finger picking pattern is going to be, you on the first bass, you do exactly what we did in lesson 1. 4, 2, I'm back to not having any hands on right now, just looking at right hand only. So we got 4, 2, 3, 2. Now, on the second half of the pattern, we're going to change it because we wanted to give a little bit more interest, and we want to start getting this first string in here. So on the second half of the pattern, you're going to play your second bass note, but now instead of going 2, 3, 2, you're going to go 1, 3, 2. So if we were looking at the D pattern, the 4, 5 pattern, we are going to go thumb, 2, 3, 2, then thumb, 1, 3, 2. Okay? Doing that again. So 4, 2, 3, 2, 5, 1, 3, 2. I changed my pattern with the bass. So 2, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2. Okay? So going back to D now, let's listen to the whole pattern. It's going to go 4, 2, 3, 2, 5, 1, 3, 2, 5, 1, 3, 2. Now, this may be a time where you want to pause for a few minutes and really work on that new pattern because it's new. You haven't had the time. This is a big deal. And making sure that you're not rushing yourself, because what do we do when we rush ourselves? We start throwing out all of this stuff that we're talking about, hand position, and we're making bad choices in order to keep up with the speed. I'm not interested in you doing that. I'm interested in you setting with this pattern, making sure that your hand position's right, your thumb's where it needs to be, and that when you do A, you're still doing 5. Now we're at a 5-4 pattern. We're going to go 5, 2, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2. You see how that, hopefully, you see how that pattern changes with the bass. You can start seeing how this starts getting more interesting very quickly. Right there I went from D, 5, now 5 again because I'm going to A, 5, 4. Okay, and if I add G in there, I got 6, 2, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2. 1, 3, 2. So, like I said, this could be a really good time for you to think about pausing this and maybe even going over the last couple of minutes over and over again until you can play, meaning I'm not interested in speed right now. The worst thing that you can do is trying to blow through this as fast as you can, because what ends up happening is it starts sounding sloppy and you quit planting, you quit having your thumb in the right place. I know it sounds like I'm a broken record. No, I'm not. It's not rewinding. It's me saying it again. It's very important for you to do it like this, okay? That's how the pattern sounds. Now, this is, we're at 12 minutes into the lesson right now, roughly. I've cutting off a couple of minutes at the beginning. 10 minutes easy. That 10 minutes is the big part of what you need to be able to do before you move on to the next part. We're getting really close to being able to play through a song. And there's a lot of different songs. I posted some videos by Jim Croce, who is a very popular, he was a very popular folk fingerstyle player back in the 70s. And then James Taylor, who's still very popular today. These guys are fingerpickers. They are not doing exactly this pattern right here. They might have their own things going on. I want to stress that this isn't the only finger picking pattern, but this is a really great one that I've used through the years. And so anyway, I'm going to give you some chords to go through on the lesson, and we're going to do D, A, G, A. Okay, that's what we're doing right here. So and we're going to do a full pattern each. Now, the other thing that I was going to say is when we play this pattern with both the full pattern that we've gotten through today, it's 4 beats because we're playing eighth notes. You're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay? Each time that I play that full pattern, that's 4 beats, okay? We're going to do 4 beats each. We're going to go D, A, G, A, okay? And we're going to start off going slower, about like this. 1, 3, 2, switch. Now G6, back to A, D, A, sorry, it's really weird watching myself. Start again, D. Now A, 5, 4. G, G, okay? So that is the full pattern. Now, and all 3 bass patterns that you can get. All the songs that we are going to do, and we're going to do several finger picking songs with this, you have to know that by memory, and you've got to know all 3 of the bass patterns, to where when I say, hey, we're going to do a B minor, and it's going to be the same pattern as A, which is 5/4, you need to be able to go 5 and know, without me telling you, 2 3 2 1 3 2. This just gives you more of a more interesting thing. If you're playing a slow song, that can be okay. Okay. So anyway, that is going to be our next steps. The next lesson that we do, I am going to introduce you to a song to go along with this. But before we can get to the song, you have got to be able to know your pattern. So if you all of a sudden hit a wall and you're confused, go back, watch the first video again, then come back and do this. And you've got plenty of time if you want to take it. I really do think that this would be a really great way to spend your time when you're not doing all your schoolwork and all of that stuff. So anyway, everybody stay safe and be on the lookout for the new song coming up.